Today we're going to talk about 9 things you need to know before buying a home in San Diego.
And it's going to start right now.
Okay, so we thought we'd put this list together just because we get these questions a lot from people here that are moving to San Diego or wanting to buy a home here in San Diego. Mm-hmm. So we thought this would be a helpful way to give all the answers out at once.
Right. And this is more pertaining to like buying a home, not just moving to San Diego in general. These are pretty specific.
To buying a house in San Diego. Because we are real estate agents and we are happy to help you.
I'm so glad you mentioned that.
Okay, what's the first one on our list?
So number 1 on our list seems kind of obvious, but it's just to know your budget. Right?
That's correct. It's an important part of buying a house here in San Diego. You have to know what you can afford. Just because you can afford a payment does not mean they're also going to approve you for it. So sometimes we have people call and say, okay, well, no, don't worry about it. I can afford it.
Yeah.
Just talk to a lender first and find out what you can afford, and then we can guide you in the right direction. Because we don't want you to go looking at houses that are way out of your price range or way below your price range too. So we're just trying to help you narrow down your search.
Yes. Which leads into number 2, your search. Number 2 is know what kind of neighborhood you're looking for, because you have the numbers on this. You have it memorized.
We have 18 incorporated cities in San Diego County, and then we also have 100 different neighborhoods throughout the county of San Diego.
That's a lot.
A lot of different types of neighborhoods we have a neighborhood for pretty much everybody.
Yeah.
If you're into it.
You want something coastal, you want something more walkable, you want something with a more urban feel, you want something super suburban, you want tract homes, you want more homes with more character.
Mid-century modern, your favorite.
You want mid-century, you want to live on the Pacifica Tract like I do. If you want to narrow down your search by neighborhood, otherwise you could really just lose your mind looking all over San Diego County because it's huge.
And if you want a little guide to all these neighborhoods, check out all our many neighborhood tours we've done on the channel here on Off the Fifth.
We did a lot of the hard work for you already.
Yes, so go check it out and then reach out to us and we can chat. Okay, number 3 on our list is one we call other research.
I like this one. This is so important. It should be super important research.
Yeah, so there's a few websites out there that can help you narrow down your search for you too, as well. So if you're worried about safety, which we're not really allowed to tell you what neighborhoods are safe or which ones are not, check out crimemapping.com. It'll kind of give you an overview of what the crime situation is in a particular neighborhood.
That's right. I would also look at Megan's Law.
Sure.
That has all registered sex offenders on there, so you can see exactly who's living in your neighborhood or who's living, nearby a house that you're interested in.
Yes. So you can go in there and type in an address and it'll basically show you the vicinity around there.
Right.
Who's living close by. It's always good to know ahead of time.
That's an important one. Yep. And then also all of the wildfire, earthquake,
basically natural hazards.
Natural hazards.
There's a website. There's a couple websites out there, but the one I saw that was probably the most helpful was
ReadySanDiego.org.
ReadySanDiego.org.
You were really close.
I was pretty close on that one. So that one will kind of show you where all the natural hazard rates are. I guess the higher severity areas of San Diego. So that's a good place to check out. When you get an escrow on a property, they'll also give you a big map of it showing all the related natural hazards in the general vicinity.
Yeah.
But high fire and earthquake are probably the 2 biggest ones you'll see.
Right, and those are important. And if you're moving from out of state and don't have experience with fire zones and earthquake zones and tsunami zones,
that's true.
This is one that you maybe wouldn't think about before buying a house here.
For sure.
And that ties in with number 4.
Yes, so this is a big one here in San Diego, especially recently this year in San Diego.
Been a lot of changes,
Homeowners Insurance. So if you're shopping around for homeowners insurance, when I first bought my house in 2016, my homeowners insurance was about $1,400 a year. Now, a couple of the homeowners insurance companies have pulled out of California, namely State Farm and Allstate, which are probably the 2 biggest ones here in San Diego. So now my insurance has gone up to $2,800 per month. So it's pretty much doubled in just a few years here. So, and it's probably going to get even more expensive because I have State Farm now, so I'm grandfathered in. But once they not renew my insurance one day, it's probably going to be even higher than that.
So new home buyers have an additional quest to find homeowners insurance.
Yes.
So if you already have yours, you're pretty much set unless they decide to drop you.
They could non-renew you at some point.
They could.
So just know if you're in a high fire zone, if you back up to like a canyon or there's a lot of brush around there, your insurance is probably going to be higher. So just if you find a house like that,
make sure you check
the insurances
get
before
some quotes,
you get on there.
Do your research, and find out who will carry you and what kind of price you'll be looking at, because that can be a game changer for some people.
A bigger expense than you might have thought. So a lot of people account for about $2,000. It could be $4,000 depending on the house you're out there. So just keep that in mind.
Yeah, and you may have to shop around a little bit.
And we know a lot of insurance brokers now after this last few months. So if you guys need any referrals, please let us know.
Yeah. Okay, number 5, sort of California specific, right? Is the Melrose tax that we talk about a lot, people ask about a lot, and it seems it's just a wild, magical, mystical tax.
Yes. Named after 2 gentlemen that created the tax. I don't think I would want to be named after a tax.
A tax that everybody kind of begrudgingly pays.
Yeah, everyone hates it. So
hates it.
No one likes Melrose tax, but there are a lot of neighborhoods here in San Diego and Southern California in general that have Melrose tax. Basically, it's a tax that goes on your property tax bill that will pay for infrastructure like schools, parks, streetlights, roads, all that good stuff. So usually lasts from like 15 years to like 35 years.
So that's the thing here, is that when the communities are being developed, they sort of decide how long they'd like the tax to last, correct? So based on how old your home is, when you're looking at a property to buy, you'd want to make sure if it's a newer property, it probably still has...
If it's like after 2000 built, it probably has Melrose, although there's a few neighborhoods throughout the county that don't have Melrose at all, no matter when it was built. So
that's why there's
no real rhyme or reason to it sometimes.
There is a website you can go to, I think, to look up...
SanDiegoMelrose.com, which is one of our viewers actually created this website for people in San Diego.
Nice job, helpful.
So that's a super helpful website to check out if you're curious.
You should also be able to just ask the listing agent of whatever home you're looking at.
But if he's not a good listing agent, he might not know what Melrose is.
He might
just
not
know that ahead of time.
So that's an important one.
Okay, number 6 is just know where the traffic bottlenecks are here in San Diego. Traffic in general in San Diego, not terrible, I would say overall, and it's very predictable. So if you're traveling at rush hour times, expect traffic. I mean, just like any other city. And there are a few bottlenecks here that we're accustomed to, like the 56 freeway going west in the morning and east in the afternoons when the traffic is typically here. On the 5, there's always construction going on in the 5, so expect traffic, especially on the weekends. There's a lot of people coming down from LA, or you get the zonies coming in here. So there's the usual traffic. The 78 freeway, I feel like there's always traffic. It's just bottlenecks left and right on the 78. So
I can't figure out a good time to drive on the 78.
I think it's like 4 a.m.
Is it 4 a.m.? I was wrong. I was there.
And then the 52 coming from Santee gets backed up, and then coming out of the South Bay, the traffic.
Chula Vista gets congested coming in and out of Chula Vista there. So,
and a good way to check this if you're thinking about buying a house and you're looking for where your work is, go on Google Maps and type in what time you're going to leave. Say you're going to leave at 7:30 for your job. It'll kind of tell you an estimate in the address, and it'll tell you an estimated time of how much traffic there will be at that time. So at least it'll give you an idea.
And I find that to be pretty accurate. I entered an address into the GPS anytime I leave the house just to see what my ETA is, really.
Yeah, that's pretty on point for the most part. So.
I would say so too.
Okay, number 7 on our list is the temperature difference here in San Diego. So we have, 5 different climates here in San Diego County?
Is it 5?
I think it's 5. That's what it said online. So we're going to go with 5 different climates here in San Diego.
Well, that's true.
This is probably obvious. Closer you are to the beach, the cooler it will be, especially in the middle of summer. So I just looked at this yesterday. So the temperature at Del Mar Beach was 68 degrees. And if you go east of the 15 into Poway, it was 79 degrees. So a 10-degree difference from the beach to inland Poway. So just know when you're considering that, if you're not a big fan of the heat, try to get as close to the beach as you can. If you like it, a little bit warmer in the summers, then obviously go a little farther east. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there's certain areas of San Diego that kind of get trapped the heat in there. If you're more in like a valley, then the heat tends to be a little bit hotter there. So like Escondido can get pretty hot.
The
East County gets really hot. So just keep that in mind for what type of temperature you're looking for here in San Diego.
How nice that you get to search by temperature.
Yeah, sure. That should be a little search on Redfin. You can type in temperature. I want it to be 75 degrees today.
Here's where you should
just click that box right there.
Okay, number 8 on the list is research your school boundary lines. If you have school-age children or kids that are going to be entering school, when you are researching a house or a property, a home that you want to buy, just make sure you double check what your home is zoned for. for school-wise. There are some homes that are zoned for more than one school, and you actually have an option, so you need to call the
like
school. Our neighborhood is zoned. I know there's a lot of homes in Carlsbad that you have an option between, 2 different high schools. So you need to do your research, see which school is a better fit for you if you have more than one option, and then call that school and designate that as your home school. So you let them know basically that you're enrolling your child there as their home school. Another thing about the schooling that I think is important to note is that you do have to pay for transportation here. So the busing is not included. So if you are someone that requires your kid take a bus to school, factor that into your budget. It's not super expensive, but it is an additional fee. And then find out where your actual bus stop is. Sometimes they're a little bit out of the way.
I would say busing is probably less popular here than it was when I grew up on the East Coast.
Yeah.
Everyone felt like took the bus here.
Yeah.
I feel like it's, maybe 30% of people take buses.
I think predominantly they do try to make the schools as walkable as they can. So they try to have it very neighborhood centric so that you can have the option to walk or ride a bike if you need to. But also that being said, if the school that you're zoned for just isn't your jam, they do a pretty good job of honoring intra-district transfers. So if there's another school in the school district that you can get yourself to or get your kids to, you provide your own transportation, you can usually call and request to put in a
as long as there's room. They try to accommodate the best
Yes, they do, which is really nice, actually.
Okay, another option here. So a lot of times we get people reach out to us. They want to buy a house, but they don't want to be rushed into buying it.
Right.
So one option to do is when you're moving here, you can find a short-term rental here in San Diego while you're looking for a home. A lot of times the other leases are a year long. They don't want to be stuck into a year lease.
Right.
So there's a few options, and a few of these ones are obvious. Obviously, Airbnb, you can go on there and look for monthly rentals there, which there's a good option. They actually just added that, I think, a year or two ago. There's also a website called furnishedfinder.com, which I actually just learned about this website fairly recently. So if you go on there, they have options. You can pick a start date, an end date, and they're furnished, and they're all different price ranges. So those are 2 really good places to check out if you're looking for a short-term rental here in San Diego while you're looking to buy a home.
Yeah, maybe you just need an extra 8 weeks to search, or your previous home sold faster than you thought it would, and you're out, and you just need just to buy yourself a little bit more time while you really hone in on your targeted neighborhood and the homes that you're looking at. But I would also say Zillow does sometimes have some short-term furnished rentals, but just as you may have heard in the news or online, or maybe you haven't, there have been some scams through Zillow where it's not a real listing, specifically Zillow, where it's not a real listing and you get people putting a deposit down on a property that doesn't exist or is not actually a rental. So if you're going through an avenue like that, I would say have your real estate agent just do some double checking, contact the landlord.
This actually happened to Elok and Leisha's house. Remember, they closed on their house, and then someone put up their house for rent online. One of our clients, this was like 2 years ago. And then someone called me because they saw we were the buyer's agent on the property. It's like, is your clients renting the house? I'm like, no, they're moving into it. It's like, oh, we just put a deposit down on it. So they got, I'm not sure how much money it was, maybe $1,500 or something. So just double check to make sure they're real people that are renting out the house, especially on Zillow.
Yes, that the house actually exists.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, okay, that was our list of 9 things you need to know before buying a home here in San Diego. Hopefully you guys find that helpful. I'm sure we'll think of other reasons along the way. Maybe we'll do a part 2 of this. Too. So thanks for watching. And if this is your first time to our channel, please subscribe to our channel as we post new videos every week. And if you're ever looking to buy or sell here in San Diego, love to help you guys out. Thanks for watching, and catch us next time.
Bye.